Good evening, good morning, good afternoon from where you're joining me from. Thank you, Suzanne. I gladly appreciate you being here to help me with this. So thank you for joining in this webinar for today on ICTforAg. My name is Lydhia Mutheu Kiswii. I'm presenting. I'm doing a presentation on leveraging precision agriculture for targeted soil improvement in arid and semi-arid area. So maybe my background. Suzanne, I'm getting too much echoes. I don't know. So my name is Lydhia Kiswii. I'm an agribusiness coordinator at the Cereal Growers Association. Cereal Growers Association is a farmer member organization in Kenya. And my role as an agribusiness coordinator, I work closely with farmers on climate resilience, adaptation, and livelihood. And so in my role as an agribusiness coordinator and a climate smart agriculture expert, I am here today to speak about more of what has been spoken by the speakers who have been presenting in this webinar. Since the day before yesterday. And so in my presentation, we are going to look at leveraging precision agriculture for targeted soil improvement in arid and semi-arid lands. I will leverage some of the information that has been presented by speakers in this webinar since the 28th day of this month. And to my first So let's first explore how precision agriculture can revolutionize soil improvement strategies in this challenging environment. When you talk about challenging environment, referring to what can be found in arid and semi-arid lands, and understanding arid and semi-arid. Why semi-arids? Why arid and semi-arids? Let's look at some of the characteristics that are found in arid and semi-arid regions. So going by a definition of arid and semi-arid lands, it is characterized by low and erratic rainfall. There is a challenge of poor soil fertility, and more arid and semi-arid lands are defined by the harsh environmental conditions that are found in such regions. And agriculture-wise, in ASAL regions, there are challenges that farmers who practice farming agriculture in those areas face. And one of them, and which is a challenge for the whole world, is climate change. Then soil degradation, where we have degraded soils that cannot produce food even enough for our consumption, leave alone selling. And as the name suggests, an arid land, it's dry, there is definitely water scarcity, and all these challenges lead to low crop yields. And then how then can we use how then can we use technologies to curb these numerous challenges that are faced by farmers in arid and semi-arid lands? So let's also get definition of what precision agriculture is. People will call it precision farming, and others will call it smart farming. And all these definition, all these terminologies amount to what I'm referring to as precision agriculture. And this is an approach, and I call it a holistic approach to farming that utilizes advanced technologies and data analytics to optimize various aspects of agricultural production. And it involves precise management of inputs such as water, such as fertilizers, such as pesticides, such as organic manure, such as seeds. And this is all tailored to the specific needs of each individual plant and section of land where this kind of farming is going to be practiced. So when we're talking like definition of the word precise in English, it's like targeted space, targeted area, targeted person. And then it's not much difference when we use the same term for agriculture or in farming. And therefore, the need, why precision agriculture? The need for precision agriculture. We've been having farmers practice traditional farming. And one of the speakers earlier mentioned that climate is changing. And so there is need for also change of how we do things, how we practice our farming. And so if we stick to traditional farming, then it means with the climate, with the changing climate, it means then we will be stuck on old ways of doing things, and eventually, because of the changing situations, we'll end up not being able to produce anything for our stomachs beyond anything for market that we target in agribusiness. And so traditional farming methods are often inefficient. They cause more harm than good. Let's say, like, for example, the type of farming where you are using, you are doing a lot of soil disturbance. There is a lot of release of unwanted gases from the soil to the environment, causing a lot of harm to the world, to the environment. And so they are ineffective, and then this leads to some of the challenges that I have mentioned, which are basically what we are looking to curb with precision agriculture. And then precision agriculture now is coming in space, in position to offer a solution by utilizing technologies to tailor farming practices to specific soil and the crops need. For example, farming practices like regenerative agriculture, farming practices like use of irrigation, farming practices like use of drought-tolerant crops in cases of arid and semi-arid lands, practices like categorizing regions into agroecological zones where there is a specific targeted crop, there is a specific targeted practice that can be applied in such zones and help the crop to thrive well, hence increasing yield or production. Again, precision agriculture aims to maximize crop yield, minimize input cost, and reduce environmental impact, and improve the overall sustainability and the probability of farming operations. It presents a shift from traditional and uniform farming practices toward a more targeted and a data-driven approach to agricultural production. Therefore, utilization of data that is specific to an area, let's say, for example, with the data that is predicting the kind of the amount of rainfall in a certain area. And therefore, farmers are able to know in this area, we're going to be receiving rains below 100 mm, for example. And this is the kind of seed that we can put in place to enable us be food secure at the end of the day. This is the kind of practice that I'm supposed to put in the soil. If it's application of manure, if it is microdosing, if it is use of drought-tolerant seeds. So this data-driven information will lead to better agricultural production. Some of the technologies that are known in precision agriculture and have been utilized by partners who are doing agriculture-based projects. Some of these selected technologies include data analysis. And looking at data analysis, there are technologies that are put in place to help data analysis, to bring on board simplified way of understanding data. And some of these outlined, I have outlined some, including GIS. We have machine learning algorithms, which can be used to interpret and derive insights from the collected data and make it simple for farmer understanding. Make it simple for the person disseminating this information to farmers, be able to just put it out there in language that is understandable. And I appreciate such technologies, because if we are to collect data and present it in a manner that is raw, then it will not be making any sense to farmers. Then we have data collection tools. We have so many applications by tech developers who have come up with a lot of data collection tools, and which are enabling data collection in various areas. But then we have other owned and open sources, such as satellites. We have drones that can be used also to collect data, sensors, machineries, which are to monitor and analyze factors like soil characteristics, weather patterns, crop health, yield variabilities, crop diseases. And in application of these tools, we are able to now bring on board solutions. If we can collect this data, for example, crop disease data, and we are able to detect a certain disease at the farm level, share it out there with experts, and we get a solution indicating this is the problem and this is the kind of solution that you're supposed to use to curb that problem, then it becomes easier for farmers in using technology. Then we have variable rate technology. This is a system that is used to apply inputs in a precise manner where they are needed, unlike in traditional farming where you can just broadcast inputs like fertilizers. But when it comes to technologies that are precise, that can guide us on where to place, for example, fertilizer, where to place seed, what dimensions from one seed position to the other, irrigation levels, then it becomes a easy way of producing. Then we have remote sensing. We have global positioning systems, which can easily tell this is where the farm of the farmer is located, and this is the kind of climate that is in that farm. And this is, then advisors can easily say this is the kind of crop that you can apply or plant in your farm. And this kind of technologies really making work easier. Then we have farm management softwares, which are enabling farmers to collect, manage, and analyze data efficiently. And these tools provide insights to farm performance, for example, softwares that can detect the amount of moisture in soil, softwares that can detect the lack of nutrition in nutrients in the soil, and this will enable farmer to facilitate decision making, to make decisions regarding their farm, and optimize the resource mobilization. Sharing my experience from Makueni County, where I have been worked for the last 4 years. Makueni is one of the ASAL regions in Kenya. It's one of the arid and semi-arid lands in Kenya. It's situated in the lower eastern Kenya, And in my experience, having integrated approach to the available technologies for precision agriculture, then I'll share a bit of what I have interacted with, what I have sensitized the farmers on, and what they have been able to adopt. Then just to mention, there are common approaches for communication and how I'm able to share this information to farmers in that region. We have a common way of reaching to farmers, which is group training. And this can be social groups of women, of young people, youths, where they come together for social events, and then we leverage on the availability of such groups to just reach them and share information with them, communicate about these technologies, train them on adoption, and also be able to set up a demonstration farm with such groups, of course, with their permission. And the uptake of technologies becomes easier at individual level when we are able to reach them in groups. Other groups include farmer organized groups like cooperatives and community-based organization. I heard farmer field days and also barasas organized by local administrations. So we leverage on energies in those groups to be able to reach as many farmers as we can, with information and with communication and with transfer of technologies. Groups range between 30 to 200 farmers in a single sitting. So it depends with the kind of group that we are targeting. We also using WhatsApp groups that are really vocal. That's a platform that we can share information. We share information and also be able to advise farmers on technologies, share photos, share challenges at the farm, where a farmer is able to get a photo of a problem in his farm, in a farm, share in the WhatsApp group. In the WhatsApp group, we have incorporated experts, including input companies, fertilizer companies, the government officers, and also technical team, which is able to handle problems if they are shared. We also share successes and the impact in the same WhatsApp group, and this encourage adoption, this encourage uptake. It's a way of peer-to-peer learning. If a certain farm is doing well and the farmer is able to share a photo of a farm that has used those technologies, then it is easier for farmers to adopt what they are seeing and in the same environment. And so if I am doing that, why not you who can still adopt the same technologies and apply them in your farm? We use radios to disseminate information, where we collaborate with the local radios to host sessions that are targeting sharing of technologies through just conversations. And the last one is SMSs, where we have platforms to share out information on mobile phones, SMS platform. And this becomes easier for those farmers who are not tech savvy or are unable to access smartphones and so on. Then adoption is monitored at individual farm level, largely involving smallholder farmers. In the Makueni County, I'm currently working with over 15,000 smallholder farmers, and we are targeting to reach up to 50,000 farmers in Makueni County with the technology transfer and information sharing. So from experience, I've been able to work closely with partners on soil mapping and analysis. In soil mapping, we use ground sensors, which are combined with laboratory services, because some of the technologies that are sensor-based, they do not bring out comprehensive results. And this is why laboratory analysis is key in this exercise, where we're able to identify soil infertility deficiency in terms of nutrient level, pH, and soil textures. And this enables targeted interventions. For example, a farm that is nitrogen deficiency, for example, we are able to provide advisory from the results that are coming from laboratories, from the analysis, and we're able to share, to give a farmer targeted context-specific information in regard to what they are supposed to do, what practices they can apply in the farm, what integrated farming methods, like, for example, application of fertilizer that is nitrogen dense, integration of organic manure, adoption of agroforest and agroforest trees that are nitrogen fixing. And this has enabled my work to be able to provide farmers with targeted interventions in terms of what is it that they need when it comes to their soil. Preliminary results shows that farmers who have been able to experience these technologies or to benefit from these technologies have improved their productivity by up to 30% for targeted value chains through better soil fertility management. And this targeted value chain could include several of the value chains that we are promoting in Makueni County as an arid and semi-arid region. Another experience is from precision nutrient management. Talking of rainfall in arid and semi-arid lands, they are very poor, they are erratic, they are unpredictable. Sometimes we, from data that we leverage from data from Kenya Meteorological Department, it is varying, it's not consistent. And therefore, providing farmers with only a brief window for fertilizer application, which could be brought in by just being able to share information about the amount of rainfall that is required. You know, there are fertilizers that will require enough rains to be able to, for nutrients to be able to be utilized by the crop completely. The soils are often degraded. These are challenges that I had mentioned earlier. And so this is leading to low nutrient efficiency and availability in the soil. Then we have in a precision nutrient management, we have microdosing practice. Microdosing practice is where you now able to put in place a half rate of the fertilizer, like 3/4 of a normal application of the fertilizer. And then you integrate this with other practices such as use of organic manure, which now complements the plant root area. We also have mulching and also water harvesting structures like pits, dry pits, basins, and which can conserve enough moisture for the crop to be able to thrive to production level. And so use of precision nutrient management technology has enabled in a reduction of cost in terms of fertilizer purchase, where we have minimized cost for fertilizer purchases, because in this introduction of microdosing, if in an acre the farmer is targeting to use 50 kg bag of fertilizer, then with microdosing, they can end up using up to 35 kgs plus in other integrated methods, which includes organic manure. Organic manure is locally available for farmers because in in Makueni County in particular, we have integrated farming system where household as animals, and the waste from animals is basically used as organic manure for the farms. And the other impact that has been measured out of this is minimized environment impact, where less fertilizers. There is, like, in the last 2 seasons of rains, we've experienced dense rains, which were causing leaching of nutrients and the draining of the chemicals in our farms to the rivers. And so we've seen minimized environmental impact from less fertilizer being washed off into water bodies. And this has enhanced farm productivity to levels where now farms can, in a way, we can talk of farms which are sustaining themselves in terms of nutrition dense, and therefore there is no need for much use of fertilizer. Irrigation, and in this case, we talking of water scarcity in arid and the semi-arid region. In Makueni, water irrigation water management it's one technology that is also being used to enhance soil moisture content and optimization of water irrigation by use of methods such as drip irrigation, and also an innovation known as Ventures Kit, which is being highly adopted in home and kitchen gardens, where you install a drip that is manageable using little water or less water. And this minimizes, lowers the labor of putting water manually in each crop. In this case, Ventures Kit, it's an installed drip. I'll be able to show a photo down here. And this water irrigation management are aiding by use of soil moisture sensors. So whenever there is application of irrigation, the soil moisture is available for the crop. And this has helped farmers to reduce the cost of production and also cost of labor in terms of bringing on board where you are leaving your crop at a space where it can access water, because drip irrigation, you just need to open for some period of time, the water flows, and then you can engage yourself in other activities, well assured that your crop has been serviced as it should be. And then this has helped farmers in use of less water in an area that is water scarce. So the available water is used to the maximum, and it is used wisely for maximum production. We are encouraging water harvesting structures where we are bringing on board the digging of farm ponds to harvest rainwater, service runoff rainwaters, where we are encouraging roof catchment water and then these waters are stored for use later in the year when there are no rains. Then we have irrigation has also enabled farmers to reduce water usage. I've mentioned that, and prevent waterlogging or drought stress of the crops. Then one important experience that we're working closely with partners in Makueni County is that we're able to identify reliable weather data, and this weather data is disseminated by Kenya Meteorological Department, and there are other partners who are on board for the same, but then they leverage with what Kenya Meteorological Department is doing to enable that, to ensure that weather data is available for farmers. Then it's not really, it brings on in place to ensure that farmers are aware of when the rains will come, when the rains will end, and this will, it's enabling farmers to make decisions, better choice of crops, establishment of farm, preparation of farm on time, planting on time, and ensuring that they apply the best practices in their soils to ensure crop management. And having disseminated weather data on time has enabled to reduce cases of crop failure, because you are sure if the rain is going to take a period of 45 days, then you adopt a crop that is able to be ready within the 45 days, or the moisture content that is in the soil will enable this crop grow to maturity. And this information through an informal survey shows that at least 70% of the farmers have make active use of this data, which is shared through WhatsApp platforms, emails, and also through radios by the director who is present in Makueni County. Then on the other bit about experiences, the other experience that I have found viable in the lower eastern part of Kenya, Makueni County, is the agroecological zoning. And in the agroecological zoning, you realize there is a microclimate area, an area that is in the middle zone, and its climate, it's not like in the upper zone. And therefore, Makueni County has been categorized in 3 major agroecological zoning. And these zonings have enabled the farmers living there to be able to make decisions in regard or receive context-specific information, because the kind of crop that will thrive thrive in the upper zone may not thrive in the lower zone. And this has enabled, this kind of zoning has enabled farmers in those areas to be sure of the kind of practices that should be practiced in their zone, the kind of crop that can be adopted in that zone, the period of rain. And so they receive a targeted information. They receive context-specific information which can enable them to increase productivity. There are challenges that we have seen with the precision agriculture. As much as it offers a lot of benefits when it comes to, I had a major focus on soil health in this case, but then it has so many benefits, even largely in integrated space. But then in adopting these technologies, there is still limited technical expertise and awareness to farmers. And therefore, we really need the capacity building for farmers to be able to understand what it is that we are talking about when we talk about smart farming, the reasons behind smart farming, because we are at a stage of change. And then we need to bring on board expertise, awareness creation, capacity building, a lot of sensitization to be able to just make the farmer understand why precision agriculture. And then if they have a basis on why this precision farming, then a change will be simpler. Then we have this initial cost that is very high in some cases, especially when putting in place technologies in the soil, such as minimum soil disturbance, digging of those pits that I mentioned earlier. Sometimes you find the amount of manure that is expected to be applied in the land is not enough, and therefore the farmer need to purchase. And those are at the initial levels, at the initial stages of implementation of precision agriculture. But then as gradually you practice, then you realize the cost is minimizing, and eventually you are able to do a profitable agriculture using precision agriculture technologies. We still have limited number of private sector players engaged in offering such services. Not at least there is some, but they are limited, and therefore we need to have quite a number of people, like I mentioned, technical expertise. We have limited access to extension from personnel that are experts in this. And so with the limited sector players engagement, then you realize that not every farmer who is getting to receive information and services and communication about what change need to be applied. Possible solutions, and this is based on some experiences and my personal experience. So to be able to overcome some of these challenges, I recommending government support, and also subsidies programs, like if farmer has to access fertilizer, there is easy way to access that at a cost that is subsidized. We need to build a coalition to build initiatives that can help to improve efficiency and avoid duplication of efforts, where if we come together as partners, as we come together as experts, as we come together as researchers, as we come together as policymakers, then we can build like a community of practice where we are sure we can synergize on each other's effort without having to bring on board same information in different language because we want to achieve at a solidity level. So if we can form a coalition which will build initiatives that has harmonized information, that has information simplified, and we have same language while presenting this information to farmers, then adoption becomes easy. Then we need, I am highly recommending support of peer-to-peer learning among farmers through exchange visit, through having farmers just come to learn from my site that is doing quite well, and a site that has adopted these practices and they are really thriving well. So in my conclusion, I would say that the benefits of precision agriculture are many. And then if we had to put this one forward for farmers in arid and semi-arid regions, it has to be clear, it has to be precise, it has to be communicated in a manner that it enables the farmer to understand what it is that we are talking about. And this will increase impact, will increase local impact. Adoption of these practices will be at high levels, and then there will be increased productivity of crops. Then we need to have a robust communication. That one I have mentioned in building coalition. And then these efforts will enable us in the dissemination of success stories and also create more awareness on precision agriculture practices. So I have been able to set some of the photos that we have, especially in irrigation water management. These are examples of drip irrigation for home garden use, where farmers are using innovative ways to have water management in their farms well utilized. In capacity building, we are transferring this to schools, and one of the photos you can see school going kids around the demo farm, so that we can catch them while they are still young and also drive interest in for agriculture in young people. These demo farms, we set them some in schools so that we can also have school-going kids, the parents in that school, the teachers in that school just have a view of what precision agriculture looks like. Apart from installation of these kits, which we are doing with partners, then we have other integrated technologies which can also, one has a choice to make whether to go with this one or to go with that one or to go with that one. And they are all looking at maximization of water use and minimization of water loss, and then also improvement of soil health, because in those plots that you can see, there is integration of manure, farmyard manure, composite manure, minimized use of fertilizers and such. And so when we are presenting these demo farms, we realize that it is easy to learn by seeing rather than to learn through theory. Yeah, asante, thank you. And I will welcome any questions coming from my audience. If any question, I'll be happy to take them. I'll be happy to take questions. There is a question from, yeah, it's in French. If you can type that in English, I'll be able to pick it. From Burkina Faso. Yeah, I'm doing that. Just give me a minute. I will be able to respond to that. Well, he has left his contact, so I'll reach out to him and try to understand what it is that he was going to ask me. Just realizing now I was not able to share the slides. Sorry, Suzanne, about that. I'm seeing your chat right now. But then whatever I've been speaking is whatever is in my slide, and I can make them available for anybody who requires them. So if there are no other questions, I will end the webinar. And thank you everybody for your participation, for listening to me. If you have got any questions, I am available on LinkedIn, Lydhia Kiswii, and you can chat me, you can give me a past chat, and then we can connect in that manner. Thank you very much, Suzanne, for hosting me. I appreciate.